My fake plants died because I didn't pretend to water them. I'd always pretended to water them in the past. I enjoyed doing it, but I never really suspected that they'd die. I spoke it over with Suzy, my supposed imaginary friend, but it soon became evident that I had it the wrong way around, and she was real and I imaginary. Like Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense, the signs were there all along, but I only saw what I wanted to see. The first sign was when Suzy told me that I didn't exist. I didn't realise that it was a statement of fact. I thought she was being philosophical or trying to hurt me. On a separate occasion, I was walking alone in the forest and a tree fell down, but it didn't make a sound. I thought these things seemed odd, but who'd ever come to the conclusion that they actually didn't exist? Maybe most significantly, Suzy was the only person I'd ever spoken to. I suspected that it was just the two of us, but as we talked, she told me that there were other people outside of her mind, that outside of her mind people don't have a stuffed bear head, and that they live in houses and have jobs and all sorts of things. Now come to think of it, I don't remember anything before Suzy. She told me that she imagined me 2 years ago to keep her company because she wasn't very good with people. Imagine that. Naturally, this discovery rocked my world. I didn't know how to deal with being imaginary. I tried to keep busy, tried to pretend to eat, but I just couldn't pretend to be hungry anymore. I tried to pretend to sleep, but I couldn't pretend to be tired anymore. And I tried to pretend to look after my pretend dog, but I just couldn't pretend to care anymore. It wasn't living, it wasn't even existing. Pretend, pretend, pretend. Then, for a brief period of time, I came to terms with the whole idea. I remembered that before I knew that I wasn't real, the whole business of thinking that I existed came with a number of difficulties. I wonder who I was, what was I doing with my life, where would I be in the next 5 years, why was I here, was I having enough fun, was I having too much fun? But when I realised that everything that I did was a part of Suzy's grand plan, I felt safe. There's nothing that you couldn't comprehend inside a human imagination. No eternity, no nothingness. There's not even any really hard sums in Suzy's mind. But then there was a time when I didn't exist again. Suzy went away and she made a real friend. I think her name was Anna or something. Apparently they were inseparable. They used to go to each other's houses all the time and talk on the phone every day and stuff like that. But then Suzy fluffed it up and here I am again. I told her that she couldn't do that again, or next time I would refuse to be called back into existence. She said that she'd never forget to think of me again. I asked her if I could maybe have a friend to talk to. She said that she didn't like the sound of that one voice was enough, but I told her that we could all hang out and that if she didn't then I'd never talk to her again, so she complied. I carried on in this vein, getting everything that I could ever dream of. But it was never enough. I wanted to be free. So I told Suzy that I wanted to have a go in the real world, that maybe she could let me call the shots for a little while, get her a few friends, then take a back seat again. Maybe I could flow through her, water the real plants, eat the real food, talk to the real people. So she said I could have a go. Things have never gone back to how they were. I realised that I was doing a much better job with this existing business, and now she resides in my mind. I don't know if she's happy in there, but she wasn't happy out here either, so I reckon no harm, no foul. I try not to think about her too often, because if she realises she has my attention, she kicks up a fuss. She says that I've had a go for long enough, and that it's her turn again now. But I don't want to go back.